All right, we will have the Pelicans for you tonight on ESPN, but we will not see Zion Williamson, who has struggled to stay on the court in his young career, playing just 114 games, missing 194 since being drafted 4 years ago. In the modern draft era, only 2 number-1 picks have played fewer games in their first 4 years, those being Greg Oden and Markelle Fultz. Tonight we have the Pelicans and Thunder in the play-in, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. But yesterday, Zion had these comments when asked about his health and when he might return to the courts.
Physically, I'm fine. Now it's just a matter of like when I feel like Zion. I know the atmosphere I'd be entering based off like the playoff experience. So now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion. I mean, it sucks. I don't know how else to say it. It just sucks. I love this game. I say it over and over. For those people that think that I just want to sit on the sideline just to sit over there, I don't know why people think that. But nah, it sucks. I just want to be playing basketball for real.
The world is never a better place when great players aren't playing. Jalen, as you listen to him there, what are we hearing?
So the way he loves the game, he's going to have to fall in love with his conditioning. And I'm not here in any way, shape, or form to like body shame or anything, but he's a professional athlete, so this conversation is in bounds. The power that he has, the height that he is at 6'8", and the weight that he carries when he first came to the draft was about 270. Right now, he looks over that. I won't even just try to project what I believe it is. But more importantly, it puts so much pressure on your lower extremities that they can't handle a guy his height, his size, also doing the athletic things that he can do. He's out of shape doing 360s before a game. But when he sits down, when I first saw him, I was like, well, he ain't playing this year. And so that is what he has to do. Fall in love with conditioning, drop some pounds, get in shape. You've seen some of the best players in the league. Draymond Green, Kevin Love, Luka Doncic. I could tell you a list of players that when I see them, I say, when they fall in love with their conditioning, it's going to change their game. That's what has to happen with Zion.
Michael Wilbon, what are the right things to say about Zion tonight?
Jalen just said it all. And this is not the first time Jalen, privately on air now, but privately with us, we've been talking about Zion, and Jalen's been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he's right. I don't know what I don't feel like Zion. Yeah, I don't know what that is, and I'm not going to try to parse what it is. It's him dealing with a certain way that he feels, and I'm sure they're probably conflicted feelings. He's got people in his ear, I hope, telling him what Jalen's telling him in his ear. And he's got people also saying, man, you don't need to listen to that. You need to be out there balling. No, he doesn't. He needs to be in a condition that will allow him to do the special things he can do. And remember, the body types who have been people like Zion, they didn't play out on the perimeter 20, 30, 40 years ago. They played in confined space. They weren't cutting and doing all the things out around the three-point arc that Zion Williamson can do and tries to do. So, no, to me, I defer to Jalen Rose. And Jalen, we talked about this earlier today. I hope there is someone or multiple someones in his ear getting across the point that you have expressed.
Respectfully, I think both of y'all have missed it. And I'm not disagreeing with what y'all said. We are reacting to the quote from Zion Williamson. That's why we're talking about him today. We know all of that. We know that he's got to prioritize his conditioning. We know there's questions as to whether or not he does that. We know that that may have contributed to the fact that the man has missed 194 out of 308 games in his career. We know all of that. But the reason why the subject is relevant this moment is because in front of the cameras, in front of the microphone, Wilbon, Jalen, that man said, I feel fine physically. I'm sorry. Stop right there. That's where the period is. Because if Zion Williamson is on the court, remotely capable of doing what he's doing, What are we saying about the Pelicans?
Well,
we don't see anybody in the Western Conference that you can definitively. Now, I know he's young, and I understand. Wilbon, again, you're not wrong. Jalen, you're not wrong. I'm just saying I'm prioritizing his quote because what I want him to hear, listen to what you're saying, bro. You're saying you're not you. Oh, so that's the only condition under which you'll play? This is when people are questioning the love of the game. This is when people are questioning what do you do to prioritize your health, to show the commitment to your love of the game. You got to be you in order to play, especially when Brandon Ingram and the rest of those boys are out there balling. They had a better than 500 record without you. With you, you are definitely a title contender, and you got to be all you want to be in order to be on the court. Unacceptable.
They were second in the West around January 1st.
When he was healthy, they looked like a team that could make a deep playoff run.
Jalen and Wilbon are not wrong. I'm simply saying his quote is like, yo, I'm not good unless I'm all the way me. That's not how this works.
The Lakers, a thrilling come-from-behind 6-point overtime win over the Timberwolves in the start of the play-in performances. LeBron pouring in 30, grabbing 10 rebounds. Lakers grabbing the 7 seed in the West playoffs. So much to discuss. Let's show you how they got there. The Timberwolves were cruising midway through the fourth quarter, but then just stopped scoring. The Lakers outscored Minnesota 20-7 in the final 6 minutes of the fourth, plus the OT. Timberwolves finished with 7 points and 8 turnovers during that span. And as we welcome Michael Wilbon into the conversation, Stephen A., I will start with you. No team has ever come from the play-in and won a single playoff series. Will the Lakers change that? Are they going to beat Memphis?
I don't think so. I'm not betting my money on the Lakers in this series. I just think Ja Morant, Bane and Brooks and Jaren Jackson Jr. specifically are waiting. It's going to be a tough matchup. There's no question that the Lakers can beat them, but I don't think last night is indicative of anything that's going to happen. Anthony Edwards, one of my favorite players, was god-awful all night long from the perimeter. One of his worst games ever. I don't think that'll be duplicated, and I don't think you can expect to see that from the Memphis Grizzlies. This is Ja Morant's crew. We've been talking about what the Lakers have looked like since the trade. We ignore what the Memphis Grizzlies have looked like in the same span. They've been balling. I think they'll be ready.
That just makes me happy because I feel the exact same way. It seems like so many people have watched the Lakers since the All-Star break with LeBron injured and AD playing as dominant as he was. They're still a 7 seed.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder played really well, made a big shot late. Karl Anthony Towns getting his 5th foul is actually the reason why they won that game. Anthony Davis with a bad foul late in the game. Who's going to guard Ja? You notice when we're talking about the Lakers, we ain't mentioned D'Angelo Russell. We're not mentioning their guard play. Who's going to guard Ja? And also, Desmond Bane, as Stephen A. said, has been terrific. Dylan Brooks is going to be up for the challenge defensively. And lastly, I know Jaren Jackson Jr. gets in foul trouble.
Yes.
But newsflash, what happens to the Lakers if Anthony Davis gets in foul trouble? I'm going with the team that has home court advantage, and that's the number 2 seed, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Michael Wilbon, hold on a second. Now, I'm watching Stephen A. show over there. I'm watching First Take, and I'm watching our friend Mr. Kendrick Perkins talking about the Lakers going to the NBA Finals, and now all of a sudden we're knocking them out in round 1. What do you say, Wilbon?
I'm stunned and sort of disappointed at the amount of excuse-making I heard all day from many of my dear friends and colleagues about the Los Angeles Lakers. What? What were they watching? The Los Angeles Lakers trailed at home for 3 quarters and into the fourth. A team without 3 of its frontline players. A team with Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble and fatigued at the end to the point where they wouldn't even throw him the ball when he's matched up with Dennis Schroeder, who's a foot shorter. Correct. They couldn't do anything. Anthony Edwards was so bad, I'm going to presume he was hurt, okay? So the Minnesota Timberwolves was just sort of had a no-show the second half of the fourth quarter and overtime, a no-show. And the Lakers are at home. They can do ice water in their veins, pose as if they want. I was drinking the Kool-Aid right up through yesterday, thinking, wow, the Lakers have what it takes to get to the final. No, they don't. They're just not that good. We can't just say the names LeBron James and Anthony Davis over and over and think that results in some automatic magic. If it did, they would have pounded the Timberwolves at home last night. and they weren't capable. So now I'm supposed to look at last night's performance. Great defense. That wasn't great defense. All that Minnesota did was jack up threes, play without any force or resoluteness in the fourth quarter, no creativity whatsoever. The Lakers couldn't even inbound the ball successfully a couple of times.
That's right.
I don't want to hear how great the Lakers were. They weren't. And I'm not giving them benefit of the doubt against Memphis in the next round.
The only thing that I would say real quick is this. We certainly want to give Anthony Edwards the benefit of the doubt because he spoke we were proud that he did it, about the importance of going out there and playing early in the season. Just go out there and play and play and play. So I loved seeing him out there, even though there was clearly something wrong with him, but it was a bad game.
In the meantime, what do you always say to me about Dylan Brooks? About
my favorite irrational confidence guy.
Well, so you tell me if this is irrational confidence. Can I show you his quote? He was asked about the matchup with the Lakers, and he said, I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. The legacy is there. First time back in the playoffs. Knock him out right away in the first round. It'll test us good. They got good pieces, good players. That'll be a good first-round matchup for us. He's calling out the king. What do you think of that?
See, this is the beauty of sports, right? LeBron James deserves to be in the greatest of all time conversation. But this year, he ain't on the best team of all time. And you're going to have people like Dylan Brooks that's going to take advantage of the opportunity to not only challenge LeBron James, but look forward, like Wilbon said, to knocking the purple and gold actually out of the playoffs because people are going to see the Lakers jersey and automatically assume they're going to win, and many people are going to pick them in that series.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.